every politician who is taking donations from the NRA, shame on you.
I think most people my age would tell you it started with Columbine. They would be wrong. I'm a 6'5", 240-pound raging atheist that doesn't like guns. I don't like to be around them. They make me nervous, and I don't like being nervous. I have reasons for this. Because I went to prison as a teenager for stealing and selling guns on the black market. So my only dog in this fight is my 10-year-old child that goes to public school every single day. And every single day, in the back of my head, a voice so tiny, almost not to be heard, asks if this is the day someone walks into my daughter's school with a gun. This video is about one question, and one question only. How have we done nothing yet? Most people would tell you that it started with Columbine, this epidemic of gun violence. But they would be wrong.
ABC Television News now presents a special program on today's mass murder in the capital city. Here is KTBC Television News Editor Neil Spells.
Good evening. One of history's worst mass murders occurred here in Austin today. By official count tonight, 49 persons were hit by gunfire. There are 16 dead and 33 injured. It started last night when a man reportedly killed his wife and his mother. That same man apparently rounded up an arsenal and supplies this morning and then went to the observation deck of the University of Texas Tower. It was then that terror rained down from the tower.
In 1966, a man kills his wife and his mom, and then goes to the University of Texas and snipes the young people there. 1966, before my old ass was even born. The beginning of this plague of terror, this epidemic of gun violence, it is older than you might think. And I am only covering mass shootings, and only some of those. So many other aspects to talk about. But then came Columbine, and the nation was once again shocked as two white kids walk up in their school to commit an act of war.
All day long, investigators have searched the homes of both teenage killers. In one of them, police say they found bomb-making materials. Specially trained officers searching the school today found close to 30 explosive devices all around the building. Authorities have also revised the death toll, now saying 15 people were killed, including the two gunmen. Most of the bodies are still inside the school, but families of the murder victims have been notified. NJ Burkett begins our coverage. He is live in Littleton, Colorado. NJ.
A nation obsessed with guns is now truly faced with the results of that infatuation. High school kids gunned down by two neo-Nazi outcasts. Still, the nation would do little more than send thoughts and prayers. Columbine should have been the last. America should have demanded protection for its children way back then. But our leaders did nothing except take their checks from the NRA and the gun manufacturers. They failed us and would do so time and time again. Failed our teenagers and our young adults.
Yeah, Mark, you knew one of the students who was hurt initially very early yesterday morning?
Yeah, I knew the girl in the dorm just through a good friend of mine. So as soon as I heard there was a shooting in the dorm yesterday, I gave him a call to see if her and her roommate were all right, and that's when I heard the news that she was shot, and I didn't find out until later in the day that she passed away. So just to know that people on campus, just great kids that go here, are being shot and killed in such a senseless act, it was really hard to make sense of all that.
Yeah.
How many of our young academic lives are worth your shotgun or your pistol? How many hundreds? How many thousands? But maybe those were just university liberal snowflakes. Maybe they didn't believe in your political ideology. Maybe they were too old for you to care.
This day, when a searing tragedy struck in a place parents felt their children were safe. The worst grade school shooting in U.S. history, at least 27 dead, 20 children, 7 adults, including the principal. And the gunman killed himself.
20 children. 20 kids in kindergarten that were just learning how to learn. 7 adults caring for those children, teaching those children to be the next generation. And 1 crazy motherfucker with a grudge against his parents and an arsenal at his disposal.
And it's not just about how many were lost, it's about the age. What is hitting everyone so hard is the reality of these being children that were targeted by a madman. We now know his name. We know he's 20 years old, Adam Lanza. We know that before he came to this school, he shot his own mother, Nancy, in the face, killing her at her home. The looming question is why?
His father was the principal. And that question, why? That is the reoccurring theme that looms above all your thoughts and prayers. Why? Why has America come to this?
He shows up at a place where they're making gingerbread houses in preparation for the holidays and Christmas presents. Just kids. A man in black enters with a vest and multiple weapons and begins a massacre.
As I said, my daughter is a child. And these were no crisis actors. They were little kids, murdered brutally in a place that should have been safe. They could have been my child. They could have been your child. But still, massacre after massacre, shooting after shooting, and the only progress is now we are called snowflakes for wanting our children to be safe. Wanting our leaders to stop enriching themselves and start doing their fucking jobs. But our leaders, they never did. After Sandy Hook and all that came after, nothing was ever done. Then, once again, another school massacre.
We could see the panic from a distance, frightening, familiar.
Reports are just coming in, but we don't have a lot of information.
We did not yet know the who, but collectively the nation, all of us feared the what.
There's an active shooter situation in South Florida.
Another shooter, another arsenal, Columbine all over again, just for a new generation. A generation that is tired of shooter drills and looking over their shoulders. A generation that cares not for how politicians line their pockets or NRA lobbyists profit from their deaths.
Dana Loesch, I want you to know that we will support your two children in the way that you will not. The shooter at our school obtained weapons that he used on us legally. Do you believe that it should be harder to obtain these semi-automatic and weapons and the modifications for these weapons to make them fully automatic like bump stocks?
Well, first off, Emma, I want to applaud you for standing up and speaking out.
Emma Gonzalez was still a child, grieving for her dead friends when she confronted the NRA face to face. Grown men that have never done anything in their lives would judge her for it, threaten her life for it. Could you imagine that? Surviving a massacre just to be threatened for wanting to stop them. And she wasn't alone.
And guys, look, this isn't about red and blue. We can't boo people because they're Democrats and boo people because they're Republicans. Anyone who's willing to show change, no matter where they're from, anybody who's willing to start to make a difference is somebody we need on our side here. And this is about people who are for making a difference to save us and people who are against it and prefer money. So, Senator Rubio, can you tell me right now that you will not accept a single donation from the NRA in the future?
Senator Rubio would not tell him that, and nothing would be done. Not then, not now. With every massacre, our leaders are responsible. And I don't know what the solution is. I truly don't. I only know that doing nothing doesn't work. Their bank accounts shouldn't be more important than our children.